Well, there are two types of parameters which affect the way gCADPlus operates. These are global parameters and drawing parameters. If we have to look first at tools and drawing parameters, you can get a lot of useful information from popping up this dialog box. For example, I've just typed in a description for the drawing, but it tells me how many entities are in there, how many blocks are in use, how many paper space views we've got, or layout views, text styles in use, and so on. So it's quite a useful dialog box to investigate from time to time. A couple of user variables are used to store the path to the particular GCP file that's being used in this drawing, and so on. Let's cancel from there. But in contrast to that, the global parameters, tools and global parameters, give you control over a lot of other variables. For example, the window and cursor, you could change the size of your crosshair. At the moment it's 0, that means the crosshair runs over the entire screen, but we could change that to, say, 50 and hit enter and come back in here. And when I click into this screen now, you may be able to see just on the left that our cursor occupies 50% of the screen. Let's go back there again and go to global variables. And so there are lots and lots of these, and I'll put that one back to 0 because I like the cursor going all the way across the screen. However, I could always pick default, and that will reset things to the default settings. Under selection, you can change the colour of a highlighted entity. Instead of being magenta, you could change its colour quite easily by double-clicking on here and picking whatever colour you want. Under selection modes, and this sometimes gets people into difficulty, you can fiddle a lot with, do you want to use shift to add to the selection? Normally it's no, and but let me put it on to yes, which means now if we zoom in here and we want to pick that line and that, can you see we're back into the 1 on the properties box. I can click to 2 and put things back to normal, but with a global setting of yes, we will have to go through that process each time. So let's have another look. Under grips, there are times, and we've had users who've turned off enabling grips, so you can't see the grips, the blue handles that you see on the end of entities. Object snap, you can change the colour of the marker, the aperture size of the pick box, and so on can all be altered. Under resolution, this shows you how well you want circles drawn, you want really smooth. All the default settings are sort of average settings and give you a reasonable view. You can change the way when you pan a drawing, where things, you might want your line weights drawn as you are panning or redrawn, so you can alter all of those. If and when you alter things, and I don't, I leave them at the default, but if and when you alter things, you need to set back to default, just click on default. Under measurement, here's when you're using the distance tool. The point colours will be red and the line colour yellow, and there are a couple of others. Do you want, when you explode complex box, you want the arcs and circles exploded. That makes turns everything into tiny little short line segments, and that's left at no. So I hope the global parameters and drawing parameters, I hope you don't look at them very often, but when you do, hopefully this little video, and there's a link on the website to a web page on this, I hope that helps a little.